Okay, so Bitcoin's price is currently $56,000 and it's got a market cap of $1.05 trillion. Ethereum has a market cap of $400 billion and also a price of $3,458 as we speak today. And it is Friday the 7th of May. So before I tell you what I would do now if I didn't have any cryptocurrencies and how I would invest and what kind of ratios I would use, let me talk about what I've actually done and where I stand at the moment in terms of my portfolio. So back around 6 or 7 months ago, I actually invested 10% of my portfolio into cryptocurrencies. Now 10% is not a significant amount. The reason for that is because cryptocurrencies are very risky. If you look at the past, you can see that we've had massive rallies and then massive crashes. So it is a very risky asset to put your money in. So only 10%. And in terms of how I split it, I basically put 80% of that 10% into Bitcoin. And then the rest of the 20% I invested into Ethereum. So the reason why I did that is because basically with Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're both cryptocurrencies, but they've actually got very different roles in terms of the financial system. So the way Bitcoin is perceived is it is a store of value or a hedge against inflation. So it's a bit like digital gold, whereas Ethereum is more like a cryptocurrency which is poised to try to displace the current financial system and create a decentralized finance where you've got things like smart contracts and that kind of thing. So they're both very different roles in terms of finance. So the reason why I put 80% though into Bitcoin, which is a majority of my crypto assets, is because Bitcoin has actually proven itself to be a good way to store your value digitally. So it's actually proven itself to actually work, and plenty of people have adopted Bitcoin. And it's got a larger market cap, so it's more trusted. So that's why I was able to put more money into Bitcoin, so 80% of my crypto assets, whereas only 20% into Ethereum. And the reason for that is because Ethereum still has plenty of things to prove. It's still very, very early in terms of its goal to displace the current financial system. And that's a lot harder of a goal to achieve than what Bitcoin's actually doing. And that by its very self makes Ethereum much more risky. And that's why it only makes up 20% of my crypto portfolio. So that being said, what I did was invested 8% of my total portfolio into Bitcoin and about 2% of my total portfolio into Ethereum. So what's actually happened since then? So I haven't bought or sold any more Bitcoin or Ethereum since then. And it's actually become around 30% of my portfolio now. So the reason for that is because the rest of about 80% of my whole portfolio was in technology stocks, so like high growth stocks, things like Tesla, Lemonade, Square, Virgin Galactic, Pacific Biosciences, so these kinds of stocks. And they actually haven't been performing quite as well as cryptocurrency over the past 6 months or so. And so that's why the total cryptocurrency position has gone larger, whereas the total stock portfolio has actually gone smaller. And the thing that I normally stick by is I don't actually buy, I do buy, but I don't actually sell any of my assets in the short term. So despite it going up so much, I'm planning to hold my cryptocurrencies. And the reason for that is because I still believe Bitcoin is still extremely early in terms of demonstrating itself as a good store of value and a hedge against inflation. I think that the market cap could reach 10 trillion in the future. So that's why I'm not selling now. And the reason why I'm not selling Ethereum is the same reason. I think that Ethereum has plenty to prove in terms of proving itself as a decentralized finance and alternative to the current financial system. So there's plenty to prove there. So I'm planning to hold them. Now, it makes up 30% of my portfolio, but the question is, if I didn't have any cryptocurrencies now, what would I do in terms of investing in cryptocurrencies? Okay, so what I probably would do is I'll stick to the 80% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum. And the reason for that is because what the thesis that I mentioned earlier hasn't really changed. So Bitcoin's still proving itself more than Ethereum, whereas Ethereum has a higher potential to become more profitable in terms of an investment. So I'll keep that ratio the same, but in terms of throwing 10% in, I probably wouldn't do that. And the reason for that is because if you have a look at this 1 year chart, you can see that it's grown significantly over the past year or so. So it makes it a lot riskier to invest in Ethereum now, because there's a potential for it to crash. And that's why I probably would put only 5% of my portfolio into cryptocurrencies initially, depending on how it goes, probably dollar cost average into the cryptocurrency, because there's a good chance that we can have a significant pullback after this massive rally, and this will create great buying opportunities. So I'll save about 5% of my portfolio just to add on any dips. So that's different to what I did about 6 months ago, where I just chucked in 10% of my portfolio straight into Bitcoin and Ethereum, because those prices back then were more attractive. So that being said, what I would do now if I didn't have any cryptocurrencies is allocate 5% of my portfolio into cryptocurrencies today. So 80% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum. And then as they dip or have pullbacks, I'll probably add until I reach about 10%. And then I'm just going to keep it for the long term. So that's what I'll do in terms of cryptocurrencies. But if we actually have a look at the market and compare cryptocurrencies with stocks, especially high growth stocks, you can see that over the past few months, cryptocurrencies have rallied significantly and high growth stocks have had a significant pullback. So actually, if I did have money and I can choose between stocks versus crypto, I probably would pick stocks at the moment. Things like Tesla or pretty much any high growth tech stock is quite attractive in terms of the price at the moment. So I probably would do that. But anyway, that's what I would do. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for future updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.